It feels like I'm getting further away from others, and it feels scary. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's difficult because often, friendship is based on separation. And relationships are based on separation. And that is difficult. And I don't think it's just in this subject. I think that, we're in a pandemic of loneliness in our society. I remember Tony Parsons used to say that, I don't know if he still says it, that the world is like expanding, or the universe is expanding, so everything's expanding. And that's what happens to us as humans. Like, we're expanding away from each other and becoming more insular. It was really beautiful when he said it. I don't think I did such a great job. Yeah. He is. Yes. So, yeah, I know it can be scary because we, for so many thousands of years, we've survived in groups, and we're becoming more and more alone. The Zoom and the COVID, and then being into this subject. And it's just noticing that, those feelings. And that, loneliness is something that will come up in humans. And there's an aspect of it that is suffering, that isn't true. Maybe it's all not true in a way. Like that there is always everything. You're never really alone. But on the human level, maybe it is true to an extent. There is natural feelings of loneliness. I know that sometimes I get lonely, but I'm not sure if that's old seeking patterns. I don't get lonely very often, but I know there are moments of feeling like I would like more friends. But I find it complex because I go out with people and I spend time with people, and then often I absorb their energy. So whatever energy they're in, I feel. And also my personality just wants them to thrive, and so sometimes it gives them things, or it's too much of my energy or too much of something, and then it feels tiring. And I've tried so often to go past this and tried so many different ways, and it just isn't so easy. And I think a lot of people feel that. But we don't, and as you become more conscious of yourself, we don't know another way to be. I always think this is incredibly difficult to do, like living in a community where there isn't like this pressure to go out for a meal and to have a good time, or to see each other like once a month and spend quality time together. It's like you just see, and you're working together and you're growing together, and that feels like a more natural way. And maybe that was the way it was 150 years ago. You're building a project together, whereas now it's like we've got to go out and have a good time. Yeah. So I get it. Like, I feel like I would like more friends, but then the reality of it isn't always satisfactory. Yeah. Sometimes it is. You meet people and it's very expensive. Yeah. And then also the other thing is that I don't know how many people are aware of this, but we burn ourselves out in our society. Like, I feel that everybody should be spending a good amount of hours per day, a good amount of hours, not half an hour of meditating or something, but a good amount of hours of just doing nothing, not reading, maybe listening to music, but maybe not, just doing nothing, just laying or sitting there. And I don't think that people do that. I think that most people are structured the whole day. And maybe not even like purposely meditating, just laying or sitting there, not doing anything. And most people can't do that because they feel so uncomfortable and they feel, I have to be doing something, I have to be something. Because I feel like a lot of people are doing too much and they exhaust their body and then their emotions become deregulated. I know it happens with me. So like the last, this week I maybe did 25 hours of driving over 3 days. And it would have been 2 days if there wasn't fog that came. So I had to stop because the fog came in the evening and I was like, too hard to carry on driving. And so I would have done that in 2 days. And I know this is stressful on my body. And so I try to take precautions, but I don't really, I weigh it up and I just think it's better that I just do the driving and, then rest when I get there. But I know that what happens when I do that, and that is an excessive amount, but just remember, in between, I'm resting, I'm not stimulating myself. Like when I get to the hotels, I try to not watch too much TV, to just lay and relax. But most people are doing more stimulation than that a day. Although that is a lot of driving and it's exhausting. And so I know that I'll become emotionally unstable just from that. And when I say emotionally unstable, to most people it's most probably really stable. But what I mean is that I will be easy to emotions. So if somebody does something that's rude or aggressive, I might be easier to anger than I usually would be. Or if somebody says something cutting, I might be easier to sadness than I would usually be. And so in those moments, there's a higher likelihood that I will argue with the other person. So, and then the last week, I also, on top of that, had period as well. So, and it was a full moon Gemini this week as well. So, last night, I think it was. So all of these things added together makes you less emotionally stable. But I don't even think people notice this, because I think people are crossing their boundaries so much that they're constantly in a emotional disbalance. And when I say emotional disbalance, for me, I'm not really talking about that much of emotional disbalance. I did have a breakdown of sobbing once I arrived at the destination, and but I know that's coming, and I weighed up the consequences, and I knew that I had to do that drive, and yeah, I didn't have much option. But most people are living their life like that. And then they think, I'll get into non-duality, I can carry on living my life, burning myself out, and I can listen to non-duality and I'll become free, and there's nothing I have to do. And that is true, because freedom is beyond that. So even in the emotional disbalance and me crying, there is the connection to freedom. Like freedom is here all the time. But on the human level, it brings up disbalanced stories. And if you're identified as well, like so strongly identified, then it brings up even more disbalance in the stories and arguments and acting out. And then this life kind of goes circular. Hello, hello. Lucy just came back from her walk and I didn't give her get her dinner ready. There's a good possibility she is going to have a tantrum. I might have to get up and feed her. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, hello, my love. So on top, so when I'm going back to friends, it's like you do all these things, you don't rest, you go out and meet people, and there's all these things that you do and you don't allow your body to settle. And then on top of that, there is the misidentification with being somebody. And then this is just like accumulation of suffering and disbalance and arguing with people and having compulsive thoughts and negativity. And then this is suffering. I'm not saying that you have to rest in order to become enlightened, like in order to see who you truly are. And that is a great relief. But I'm saying, like, in order to be a more balanced, expansive person, I feel that there has to be good amount of rest, of not doing activity, not screen time, not working all the time, not socializing all the time. And then in our society, it's like the idea of socializing is meant to be downtime, but it's work. It is work. It is part of survival in a way. Like the way that we survive is by being social, and it is enjoyable, but it's still work. You're still in the mind, in thinking, in stories. You're meeting somebody in stories unless you sit there in silence together or do an activity together. And that's the same really as watching TV or working. Yeah. Yeah. And it's considered, doing nothing is considered so bad in our society, and it's not. Like, people feel so guilty and they can't do it. I have to be doing something. They're so programmed to always be seeking, be doing something. And it is added in with seeking, but not all the time. Like this sense of not rest, doing. Khaleesi is settling. This is something. Thomas. Yeah, doing nothing is vital for a healthy mindset. Our culture paradigm right now, however, is addicted to doing stuff just for the sake of doing. It's such a shame that it's considered lazy or unproductive to do nothing. It's truly a deep misunderstanding of our essential being, totally. Like when I look at gorillas, you know, in their natural habitat, like they spend so much just watching. I mean, like it sounds like I go on these expeditions and watch them. I just mean on in documentaries. Like they eat a lot of leaves, they have to, but they also spend a lot of time just watching and resting. And so does Khaleesi and birds. Like, how difficult is it for you to do nothing? Not even meditate, just sit there, just sit there. No phone time, no storybook, just sit. I can't believe it, Khaleesi's settled. It's because we're in a different location, I think. Yeah. Who is this one that always has to be something?